It was another warm summer afternoon at my lake cabin, a place meant for peace, reflection, and family gatherings. I had returned from a week of errands and meetings, expecting nothing more than the usual calm of water lapping against the dock and the soft chirping of birds. That tranquility was shattered almost immediately when I saw her, HOA Karen, storming up the path with a sense of purpose that only she could muster. Before I could react, my phone rang. Karen had called 911, reporting an illegal gathering and claiming that I had somehow violated HOA regulations on my own property. Her sense of entitlement was breathtaking. She truly believed that her obsessive control extended even to my private lakefront cabin. I calmly stepped outside, assessing the situation. Neighbors were beginning to peek out from their homes, curious about the commotion, and Karen was busy directing her complaints toward imaginary violations. 3 minutes later, I took action. I knew that her 911 call was a bluff, designed to intimidate rather than enforce any real law. But I also knew that preparation and a little strategic leverage could turn the tables dramatically. Within minutes, I remotely accessed the cabin's security system and reviewed the network of property cameras I had installed months earlier. Every inch of my property was documented, time-stamped, and perfectly legal. I also had a small, prearranged signal to alert a network of contacts who had experience with disputes like this. By the time the responding officers arrived, Karen was in full meltdown mode. She ranted about trespassing, noise, and illegal activity, waving her printed HOA policies like a sword. The officers, however, had already reviewed my documentation and confirmed that all property boundaries, permits, and activities were entirely legal. Karen's credibility crumbled in real time. Witnesses from the neighborhood corroborated my story. I had been on my property, within my rights, and following all local ordinances. The final stroke came when I revealed my ownership stake in the HOA itself. Karen had no idea that I had quietly acquired enough shares to influence major decisions. With a calm, almost casual gesture, I informed the officers, the neighbors, and Karen herself that any attempt to seize authority over my property would be nullified by my position within the HOA. The realization hit her like a thunderbolt. The woman who had tried to dictate terms and call in the law enforcement apparatus suddenly had no leverage at all. Karen's face turned bright red, a mixture of fury, disbelief, and humiliation. The neighbors, previously fearful of her, now watched with quiet amusement. For once, the tables had turned completely. The overbearing enforcer had been outmaneuvered, and her obsession with control had become a public spectacle. In the following days, the story spread throughout the community. Karen tried to recover her authority through emails, social media posts, and phone calls, but each attempt was met with polite dismissal, legal documentation, and reminders of her failed overreach. Meanwhile, my cabin and lake remained peaceful, fully under my control, and shielded from further interference. The lesson, as always, was clear. Preparation, documentation, and strategic leverage are far more effective than aggression or intimidation. Karen had assumed that her calls to 911 and her threats could manipulate outcomes, but the combination of legality, timing, and quiet power ensured that her efforts were not only fruitless, but entirely self-defeating. By the end of that week, the lake cabin had returned to its natural state of serenity. Karen had retreated to her home, furious and powerless, while I resumed my peaceful afternoons by the water. The incident became another chapter in a growing saga, a cautionary tale of overreach, hubris, and the consequences of underestimating a prepared and determined property owner. Every ripple on the lake, every bird call, and every gentle breeze seemed to whisper a single truth. Property rights, when defended with patience, strategy, and precision, are not merely protected, they are unstoppable.